My playing style is mainly very, I wouldn't say aggressive, but I play with lots of heart. There's always going to be people with better technical abilities than me, but you won't find many people with a bigger heart and will to win the game than me. I'll throw my body on the line for the team. The first couple of days, I was like, does this mean that I have to stop with my football? Everything in my life is based around football. So if I can't play football anymore, then that's a big part of my life that falls away. Does this mean that my football story is done?
Today's guest has an especially unique perspective on sports and diabetes, as he's only recently joined the diabetes community. Ray Morton is a 17-year-old professional footballer who was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes just 5 months ago. He plays for the under-18 division of the Belgian team Zulte Waregem. In this conversation, we'll talk about his love for the game, the impact of his recent diagnosis, what it's been like to adapt to playing and training with diabetes, and how he's finding his way in this new chapter. So Ray, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
So Ray, football has clearly been a huge part of your life, right? Can you take us back maybe to the moment when the sport really captured your heart?
Well, I started off when I was about 7 years old, maybe six. And yeah, no, it's just the first thing I played with was a ball. It's always been a part of my life and the biggest part of my life. And I've done everything in my life because of football. So I'm forever grateful for the sport. And yeah, it means absolutely everything to me.
And how did you get into football at all? Was it just you were playing outside with your friend, or how did that happen?
Well, funny enough, my dad is South African, so he wanted me to play rugby. So first we went to a rugby club and they immediately saw that rugby wasn't really my thing. So then we tried some other sports and football was one of them. And immediately we saw that, yeah, football is my sport and that's the sport I should be playing. And since then, I've kind of been playing football and been growing ever since. So yeah,
So you immediately found fun, and probably
exactly.
you were also good at it, right?
Yeah, I was. I was better than the usual kids, which is a start.
Yeah, and probably that's helped because you've come a long way from playing at grassroots to the U18 level at Zulte Waregem. How did you make your way up there?
How? Lots of training, consistency, and mainly just discipline and mentality. So, I mean, that's all you need to try and get higher and higher in this football world. You need a good start, good basics.
So when did you find out that you could play football well enough to be part of a team like Zulte Waregem?
I knew I was good, but the moment that I think it was under 12 that Ghent came and asked about me, that's when I knew, like, okay, I could possibly do something with this story later on in my life. And since then, yeah, I've been going with the top, going with the elite footballers in Belgium. So that was a big milestone.
There's like scouting going on, and
Yeah,
they go and watch the matches, and they
exactly.
discovered your talent basically.
Yeah, that's how it went. It was an amazing moment for me because we live in Ghent, so getting scouted by Ghent was an amazing honor to have.
Yeah.
So yeah,
How would you describe your playing style, and what drives you most on the pitch?
my playing style is mainly very, I wouldn't say aggressive, but I play with lots of heart, just mentality. There's always going to be people with better technical abilities than me, but you won't find many people with a bigger heart and will to win the game than me. I'll throw my body on the line for the team, basically.
What's the position you play in on the
I
pitch?
play left back, so
Left.
defensive position.
When you look back at your football journey so far, is there a moment that really stands out as defining? So something that you're really proud of?
I think it was last year somewhere that I got called up by the national team of South Africa. That was a very big milestone for me, and yeah, it was a very big honor to be able to be called up for my home country, basically. Yeah, that was amazing.
Yeah, I mean, the national team, that's
Yeah, it's
that's a
crazy.
big
It's
thing,
crazy.
right? That's crazy. I mean,
It's very crazy. Yeah, that was amazing.
you're not only a top athlete, you also have type 1 diabetes now. So you were diagnosed with type 1 just a few months ago. How did you first realize something was wrong?
Well, it started off with the main symptoms. I needed to go to the bathroom more often at night. I was thirsty way more often. So I told my parents and I said like, yeah, I think there's something going on with my bladder. I think I've got like an infection or something. So they said, okay, let's go to the doctor tomorrow. So we go to the doctor. I do the normal tests and they say, call us back tomorrow and we'll let you know something. So we called back and they said, yeah, you got to pack a bag. We think you've got type 1 diabetes and you've got to go to the hospital like for a week. So quickly, like as soon as possible. So yeah, that was a big shock because I just didn't know what type 1 diabetes was. Yeah, I'm one of the highest elite level sporters in my region. And then I've got type 1 diabetes. So it was a bit of a shock to me. I didn't really know what to do at that moment.
Yeah, so what was going through your mind in those first days?
Well, I wasn't very concerned, but I wasn't very concerned because I didn't know what it was. Like I didn't know how serious it was at first. So I was like, okay, I'll just go to the hospital to fix it with some medicine, but that's not the case at all.
No.
No. So yeah, that was a bit of a shock when I came into the hospital, but I dealt with it.
Did you feel any doubt at that point about your football career?
The first couple of days I was like, does this mean that I have to stop with my football or like what does this entail? Like, I'm in a top sports school, so everything in my life is based around football. So if I can't play football anymore, then that's kind of a big part of my life that falls away. So yeah, I was very concerned the first couple of days. Like, does this mean that my football story is done? Like, what does this mean exactly? So yeah, that was a little shock reaction in the beginning.
Yeah, I guess you must have lost your confidence a little bit at that point. How did you rebuild that? So what was it like to return to training and playing football after being diagnosed?
Yeah, no. So I had a week in the hospital, and the first 2 days was a bit like, yeah, what's this? And I wasn't very happy. But then I kind of just made a switch. It's like, yeah, you've got it now, but now you have to deal with it. You can't keep going like, what's this? What's it? You just have to deal with it. Like you've got it now. Learn to live with it. So that's when I called you. That's when I called lots of other people to support and help me. And since that day, I've been going with the flow and that's been working for me. So once I got back to the football pitch, it was like that I've been living with diabetes for months. So yeah, you just have to embrace it fully and then you'll learn quickly.
Yeah, it's interesting what you say. So your first reaction was basically, I'm going to call up some
Yeah,
other athletes that have type 1 diabetes and find out how it's done.
exactly. Yeah. First I called you and then I called a guy named Siba. He's a third Dexcom warrior and he's a football player. So that was more in my world. So yeah, that really helped me. All those
Yeah.
people helped me in my journey.
Yeah, that's a really good approach, I think. And yeah, did you also have a good support network at the hospital in your family? How did that work?
Very, yeah. The hospital was amazing. I couldn't have asked anything more from them. They were amazing staff, very friendly, always there for me. And then, of course, yeah, my family, my parents, my sister, they were always there every day. Also, my girlfriend came along every day and spent as much hours as possible until she literally got kicked out by the staff at night. So yeah, she was there for me. I had a
Wow.
very loving situation around me. So that was amazing. That helps you,
Yeah.
really does.
Yeah, I think indeed having a great support system would help you bounce back, I think, more easily after such a, yeah, dramatic event, I would say, in
Yeah,
a way,
yeah, big time.
It's
It really does help. Really does help.
So did you have any problems accepting the fact that you have diabetes, or you were just like, okay, a switch, I have to flip the switch?
The first day was like, okay, what is this? And then from the second day, I was like, okay, I've got it now. Just learn to live with it, and that's what I did. I mean, that's something that runs in our family, just that mindset from, okay, you've got something, it's just an obstacle. You just have to learn to live with it and learn to appreciate life, even with diabetes type 1. If anything, it's helped me. If anything, it's helped me, type 1 diabetes. So yeah,
It's helped you, do you say? How do you mean it's
it's
helped
helped
you?
me become more self-disciplined. So that helps me in my sports. I know my body way better than other people know their bodies. I eat healthier, but yeah, it has helped me become just a different version of myself, which is amazing.
Yeah, I like that idea. Diabetes has made you, of course, it has shaped your personality
It
in a
has,
way.
it has,
Yeah.
yeah, it
But
has,
you also see it in a positive way because many people would say, okay, type 1, I'd rather not have it. It's just made my life more difficult. I have to take care of all these things, be mindful of all these things. I have to prepare so much more than other people have to
yeah,
prepare.
yeah.
And you also do all that, I guess, but still you have this idea of diabetes as something positive.
But I guess that's just a bit the sports mindset and whatever. I've been very disciplined since a young age because of football. So I guess that really also helped me in my diabetes story. Like all you have to be with diabetes is you have to be disciplined enough. If you have discipline, it's fine. It's a one-on-one conversation. So it's discipline. You need discipline.
So do you think the fact that you were already an athlete when you were diagnosed with type 1 diabetes helped you cope with diabetes better?
Yeah, 100%. Like that was one of the main factors, I think. Like I had that elite mindset already, to say it in those words, and that's what you need with diabetes. You need an elite mindset. You need to take care of your body, basically. And yeah, no, football really helped.
So you see some similarities,
I
you
do,
would say, yeah, between life as an athlete and having to take care of yourself as an athlete and life with diabetes.
I do. Yeah, there's lots of similarities between living with type 1 diabetes and living a high intense sport career. So now it's just a matter of combining them, which isn't that hard once you've done one of them. So yeah.
Yeah, I'm amazed that you say just a matter of because yeah, I've been living with type 1 diabetes for over 25 years and
Yeah,
there have been difficult times
yeah, I can imagine.
too. So let's maybe you have a great support network, but how did your team react to your diagnosis? Because also for them it must have been a shock, the fact that you yeah, all of a sudden had type 1 diabetes.
Yeah, so I told them, but I also said, like, don't treat me differently because I've got type 1 diabetes. I don't want to be treated like, you've got a disease, so we'll go easier on you. I said, like, no, be strict on me, treat me like I'm a normal human being. Like, this doesn't change me. It's something different. Like, now I've got this, but don't change me because I've got this. And they were like, no, we won't. Like, we'll still be strict on you and we still expect you to come every day. Like, we won't go easy on you. And that's how I want it to be. I want to be treated like an elite top sporter, not like someone who's living with type 1.
No, that's I completely understand. I also hear that from many other athletes that basically they say, nobody cares if I have diabetes. I mean, on the pitch, when you're playing, the other team won't care. The
They
score,
don't. No, they
yeah,
don't.
the result of the match will not be different because you have diabetes. It just you have to cope with it and you
Exactly.
have to make the best out of it. So yeah, you need like this mindset, but still it's a shift because you are in a way you have to do more than a normal athlete or prepare more or be mindful of more things than other people. So you will have to still do all of these things like check your sugar, make sure your nutrition is in order, get your diabetes management under
Yeah.
control.
Yeah.
So yeah, so you have to prove yourself even more, I would say, than
You
another
do.
athlete in that
But
way.
with all those things, you learn to love your body even more. So that's where you've got an advantage over other people. You know your body better than they do. So again, you just have to find, yeah, well, the positives in this negative story, basically.
Yeah. So football is a high intensity sport with constant movement and a lot of adrenaline. How have you learned to manage your glucose levels during training and matches?
Well, before trainings, I usually want to be a bit higher than I normally am, just so that I don't risk dropping during a training or during a game. And I must say, I never have. Like, I've never had to stop a training or a game because my sugar's too low. My body usually stabilizes during a training or during a match, so that's amazing. And after a match, I know that it's gonna dip quickly. So then I have a chocolate milk or I have a cookie or something, and then it stabilizes again. So yeah, it's just you have to have these experiences. You have to do it once or twice, and then you know, okay, so when I play a match, I'll go down. You just have
Yeah.
to learn every time.
Do you see a difference in your diabetes management on match day compared to regular training days?
Um, a bit. On match day, I like to eat a bit less than normal, so also need a bit less insulin. And then after matches, I usually have to take less insulin because I've done an activity. So it's adjusting a bit. In general, there's not that much of a difference, I would say.
Well, the factor that would be different is probably the stress
Yeah.
that you have for a match more than you have. That could push your sugar higher potentially, but that's not for everyone. So
No.
I don't know how you experience that. Do you have like a pre-match spike or something, or do you see your sugars trending up?
Sometimes, no, I have a spike. I see that on my glucose meter on my app. I have a spike when I'm about to walk onto the pitch. So when I don't have my phone on me anymore, and I'm about to start the match, then I see like, oh, okay, so there I have a spike. But that's an adrenaline stress. Like the match is about to begin. That's a bit of that type of spike. So yeah,
So how do you train usually? How often do you train?
I train 4 times a week at school and 4 times a week at the club, and then a match in the weekends. And usually Sunday I have to run recovery. So about 10 times, roughly
10
10 times a
times.
week. Yeah, 10 times a week.
And what kind of training is it? Is it always aerobic training, or is there also some fitness training, gym
Yeah,
work?
yeah, there's a mixture. It's most aerobic and football, of course, but then there's also days that we do some like an hour of fitness and an hour of a different sport to get some different muscles. But 90% of my trainings are football and condition wise, aerobic wise.
Do you always have the same glucose strategy for these trainings, or do you adapt them to every single different training?
I usually have the same strategy-ish, but I do know when I have an aerobic training and I have to run for an hour and a half, then I know that I'm gonna dip harder than if I would train a normal football training because it's a longer and more intense training program. So it's just the aftermath is a bit different. But before the training, I do the same. I make sure I'm a bit higher. During the training, I'm good. But then after the training, I know like if I've had an aerobic training, I need to eat some more than I would if I had a normal training, for example.
Yeah. So let's get into that a little bit more. Can you maybe walk us through your typical match day routine now? So how do you plan your food, your insulin,
Hmm.
your checks during a match?
Yeah. So in the morning, I have some eggs with bacon, so that I don't really need insulin. I try and avoid insulin before a match as much as possible. And then when I arrive at the club, I have a banana or a piece of fruit or a cookie to make sure I'm a bit higher, like I've said before. And then as I'm about to step on the pitch, I quickly do another check before I leave the changing room to make sure that I'm high enough. And then I play my first half. And then I come into the changing rooms in half time. I'll take my phone, I quickly check. If I'm too low, then I eat something, which hasn't really happened. If I'm too high, I do take some insulin because I don't want to be too high for a longer amount of time. And then I go out, and after the match, I have a look, and I know that I'm gonna dip. So then I quickly have some food or a drink. So yeah, it's just, you have to track it constantly. It's basically my Dexcom meter is my coach, but I also have to do something with it, basically.
Yeah. So you're using a CGM, no pump?
No, no pump, because football is a physical sport and it sounded a bit complicated to me. So for
Yeah.
now, I'm gonna do injections.
Yeah. But you have a CGM, but I assume that you are not able to check your sugar too often because you don't have your phone, or do you have a watch that you
No,
have
you're
your
not
sugar?
allowed to play with watches on a
Yeah.
football pitch.
So how do you manage?
Yeah, I manage in half time. That's basically the only time that I really check. And if I really wanted to, I could give my phone to my parents, and then they could kind of follow me sometimes if I'm in range. But um, yeah, when I check in half time, 90% of the time I'm stable. So yeah, I think
Because you're
that's
not able to eat either during the match, right? When you're on the pitch, you're not
no,
able to eat. You really have to wait for the halftime
yeah, yeah.
to do some diabetes management.
Yeah, exactly. But in case of emergencies, I always have some food on the bench that if it all goes wrong, then I quickly have a gel or something to give me a big sugar boost. But I've never had to use it, luckily. So yeah, it's good.
Yeah, but it's good to have that backup, just also for
Yeah,
just peace of
very.
mind, I
Yeah,
guess, right?
exactly. This, yeah, big time. That's a lot of it. Peace of mind. Just to know, like, if it goes wrong, well, there's something on the bench that I can use for it. So yeah.
Yeah. What aspects of having type 1 diabetes do you struggle most with?
To be honest, what I struggle most with is I've got a little bag that I take with me everywhere. And there is moments that I forget that bag, and then you're driving half an hour down the road, but then you realize you forgot the bag, so you have to go back half an hour. So that's the main thing. Like, you always have to have it on you. Always. 24/7, you have to have it on you. So
Yeah.
it sucks if you forget it. And it has happened to me a couple of times.
Yeah, diabetes is something you can't just forget for
No,
a while. I mean,
no.
it's always with you. You can't
Yeah,
switch
it's
it
always
off.
there. No, you can't.
Yeah. And indeed, if you've packed all your stuff in a nice bag and then you're going on your way and you
Yeah,
just
exactly.
notice when you're already halfway
Yeah,
down,
yeah, exactly.
I forgot it at home.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that happens. Has living with type 1 diabetes changed how you approach training or competition?
No. If anything, it's, yeah, affected me positively, like I've said. It's made me even more hungry and even more disciplined to show the world, like, you can live with type 1 diabetes and still be an elite sportsman or woman. Like, you don't have to limit yourself because you've got type 1 diabetes. It's ridiculous, basically. You can still do everything and more with type 1 diabetes.
So that's a great thing to say. I mean, usually people have to make small adaptations to their life and schedule to make sure that diabetes does not prevent them from doing what they want to do. What you're basically saying is, I was doing the same things before I had type 1 diabetes as I'm doing now. It has
Exactly.
not changed my life so much.
No, no, it hasn't. And I think, like, I get it. Like, you're probably scared to push yourself to the limits, but that's what your body needs. It needs to be tested. And type 1 diabetes is an obstacle, and you have to overcome it somehow. So yeah, the sooner you do that, the better. And then you'll live your life like before, basically.
You said that diabetes has also helped you to be more aware of your body, to know more about your body. What's something that the experience with type 1 has already taught you about yourself?
The influence of training and the influence of like matches and activities on your body, it's crazy. Like, a normal person wouldn't think about that, but once you've got type 1 diabetes, you realize how important, like, moving and training is for your body. Like if I'm too high, then I just go for a run and I know that I'm gonna go down. It's crazy how to see like how you can see that your body is working all the
Yeah.
time. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
incredible.
I love that you've already discovered that because that's something I care about a lot. I think that like training and physical exertion should be part of diabetes management
Mhm.
in general because you have such an advantage if you have diabetes if you are also active
Yeah,
because you can really manage your glucose so much better. You need so much less insulin. Your insulin sensitivity will rise a lot, and that effect will continue for the next like 2 days.
yeah,
And you will need less insulin, and the less insulin you have, the less of a roller coaster
exactly.
your sugars will become.
True.
So this is
Very true.
something. It's not only for elite athletes like yourself. I think everyone should
Everyone
with
should
type
move.
1
Yeah,
diabetes should move. Yes,
yeah,
it can be just a walk, and yeah, it can be whatever you like. If you like going for a bike ride, if you like to play tennis with your friends, but just move.
yeah. Everything helps. Everything
Yeah,
helps. It really
everything helps,
does.
every
It
small
really
step.
does.
So even though you're early in your diabetes journey, do you already feel the importance of representation, like being an athlete with type 1
Yes,
diabetes?
yes. I think it's mainly important that people get to know stories like that they know that it's possible. It really is. You need to make sure that people know that it's possible to live with type 1 diabetes and not only live with type 1 diabetes, but do what they love most with type 1 diabetes. Yeah, I think it's very important to represent the athletes and the people with type 1 diabetes.
So how'd you do that? How had you connected with other people with diabetes and how are you part of a community?
Well, it started off with contacting Dexcom. And so we talked a bit and they said, yeah, we have a program called Dexcom Warriors, and that's for people that represent type 1 diabetes and do like campaigns. And I said, like, yeah, I'm 100, I want to do it. I want to represent because when I came into the hospital, there was no one of my age that I could contact, which was a bit of not, I wouldn't say a letdown, but it's something that you pay attention to. Like there wasn't really anyone between 15 and 25 years old, basically. So that's also what I did immediately. I said to the hospital, like, this is my Instagram, this is my number. Like, if anyone of my age comes around, let them give me a call and I'll help them. Yeah, no, I think it's very important to help other people with type 1 diabetes.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. I mean, it's true. Most athletes that you will find online with who have type 1 diabetes will be more experienced
Yeah,
people. And it's very important, I think, for young people to find peers, to find
yeah,
people their age, because they see it a bit differently. It's harder to put it into perspective
mhm,
when you've just been diagnosed. It's easier to do that when you're 20 years in or
yeah, exactly.
25 years in, as I am, then you have some perspective on that. But when you've just been diagnosed and yeah, you're like yourself, you're a teenager, basically. This is a different experience, and it can be really helpful, I think, to find a role model, yeah, that is in the same age group. And
Yeah, it's
I love
very,
it that you're already, yeah, your willingness and your that you've kind of made it your mission already to be that.
yeah, I really want to be a role model for younger, newly type 1 diabetes.
And what message would you give to someone who's just got diagnosed and wonders, like, okay, can I still do this?
Yeah, there's one message that I always say to people, and it's just you have to have a positive mindset. That's I've said that to everyone that I've talked to. If you have a positive mindset and you want to learn to live with type 1 diabetes and you're open to learning to live with it, then you'll be fine. 100%. It's something you have to learn. And if you have a positive mindset and you're willing to learn to live with it, then you'll be fine. Like you'll manage.
That's a great message to give to newly diagnosed people with type 1 diabetes, I think, yeah, that's really something you need to learn. That is true. But learning is also not that easy sometimes because it can come with trial and error. It can come
Exactly.
with setbacks. It can also, yeah, it can be hard because you can also go wrong. At some point, you can have a very bad hypo, and still you have to pick yourself up. Yeah, you have to pick yourself up and go for it again.
Yeah, I'm very blessed that I had these amazing people around me to help me. But there were moments that I had a big hypo or that I had a big high, and that's mentally a challenge. Like you have to get over that. You have to be like, okay, it happens. Just go on to the next day, just day by day, step by step, and you'll get there. By the end, you'll get there. Even the most experienced people still have off days. Like it happens. It's not rocket science.
No, even when you have made all the preparations and you've done everything right, or so you think you've done everything right, it can still go wrong. And
Definitely.
yeah, you have to make the best out of it and yeah, try to figure it out at that point. But that's diabetes. That's something that's, yeah, it will never be entirely in your control, but you can try to get as much control over it as you can.
Exactly. No, you won't always have control at all.
So Ray, yeah, it's been a real pleasure talking to you. I
It's
love
been
your
a real
positive mindset. Yeah. I could go on for a while because I think your story is yeah, really inspiring. Unfortunately, all good things have to come to an end. So, but before you go, I'd like to ask you still a few quick fire questions just to end with a bit of fun, if
sounds
you're
good.
okay with that. Great. Here goes. What's your favorite football club?
Manchester United, England,
What was your best moment on the pitch?
winning the championship and under 16 with Ghent, my boyhood club.
What's your go-to hypo snack during a game?
Ooh, I would say a little chocolate chip cookie.
That's delicious.
It is. It really is.
Do you have any pre-match rituals?
I do a couple. I pray before a match and yeah, track my diabetes. That's my two
It's an
go-tos.
important ritual. Yes.
It is.
That's essential.
It is
What's your favorite position to play?
left back. I like playing left back.
What's your favorite cheat meal after a game?
Hmm. Cheat meal. I don't know if it's a cheat meal, but a good pasta carbonara. I really like my pastas. And that's
Delicious.
quite good for sporters. So
Yeah. Yeah, that's another thing that is very important. I mean, if you want to eat a little bit like a normal person,
yeah.
as someone with type 1 diabetes, you have to be active.
Yeah, you do. You really
And
do.
if you want to eat some carbs, it's yeah, you better run
Yeah,
them off
you
afterwards.
better run them off. Yeah.
What's harder, penalties or carb counting?
Um Penalties. Because for carb counting, you've got apps nowadays that do it for you. So yeah, I'd say penalties, that's nerve-wracking. It's stressful.
And you do carb counting all the time, or
I
just
do.
sometimes?
No,
Okay.
90% of the time I do. I do carb counting just to make sure everything's perfect.
Have you ever used your diabetes as an excuse?
I have once at school. I didn't feel like the lesson. I just said, yeah, I need some time off. Like my sugar's a bit unstable, and they said, yeah, take however much time you want. So yeah, I have. I shouldn't, but I have once.
For you. I mean, we can use it sometimes. It's okay.
Exactly, exactly.
What's one thing about type 1 diabetes that most people don't know?
That you don't necessarily have to be an old person or someone who doesn't move a lot. Anyone can get type 1 diabetes, literally. Anyone.
Yeah, it's a big genetic component
It
to
is.
type 1 diabetes. So,
Yeah,
yeah,
even me, no one in my family has it. I'm the first one. So even genetics, like
it's
I'm
not the
sure
whole story.
genetics, yeah, it's not the whole story at all.
No, we still don't know what is actually the cause of type 1
We don't,
diabetes.
no, we
Maybe one
don't.
day we will know, but right now, it is a very random thing.
It
Yeah.
is. Yeah, it's very random.
Well, you did very well. How did you experience our conversation today?
Yeah, no, it's a very nice conversation, and it's very nice to help people inform about diabetes. Like conversations like these really help people understand how type 1 diabetes works, and I think it's very important that people do know how it works and that they don't just have a stereotype about a disease like type 1 diabetes.
Yeah, both type 1 diabetics and people
Type
who do
2.
not have diabetes
Yeah,
and type 2, yes.
yeah,
Just more awareness about type 1 diabetes is very, very important.
it's very important. Yeah.
What's coming up on the football calendar in the next months and year for you?
Lots of training and lots of matches, basically. No, nothing too special, I think, coming ahead. Just the competition is going in a flow, and just trainings every week, every day. Yeah, no, but that's
Yeah,
what I live for. That's what I live for. Just training, having fun on the football pitch.
and I admire you for that. If people want to connect with you on social media, where can they find you?
On Instagram is where I'm active the most.
I will add your handle to the show notes so people can,
Great,
yeah, and especially young people who've just been
especially young
diagnosed.
people. Yeah,
Yes, because I really like the fact that you said that you wanted to be a role model for young people. So
I
that
do.
would be a really good thing.
I do.
Ray, thank you so much for sharing your story and letting us in on your journey so early after your diagnosis.
Thanks for having me. Thanks for having me.
I think it takes courage to talk openly about something so new and personal, and your honesty and positive mindset will no doubt resonate with many of our listeners who may be going through a similar experience. And yeah, I kind of wish I'd had someone like you to look up to when I was first diagnosed at age 13.
Yeah, no, it's important that you have people around you to help you.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I would have thought differently about activity from the
Yeah,
start.
yeah.
So it's a really great thing. So I wish you a lot of joy and successes in your football career. I will certainly keep on following your progress, and I'm sure your incredible mindset will bring you very, very far. So thank you, Ray. All the
Thank you,
best.
David. Thank you. All the best.
Thanks for listening to Out of Range, the podcast that shares real stories from athletes living and thriving with type 1 diabetes. I hope today's conversation inspired you to get active, take control, and find your own balance in sport and in life. If you enjoyed this episode, please like and follow the show, or share it with someone who might benefit from hearing these stories. Every recommendation helps more people with type 1 diabetes discover the power of movement. And in the meanwhile, keep learning, keep moving, and keep your glucose in range.